it's another day back in the shed with the Pajero. Just going to do a few small things to clean it up a bit more. Going to degrease the engine, polish the headlights. I might try and fix the rhubar, make that a bit nicer, but it works, it's there. It's just a little bit oxidized from sitting in the weather for a while. The rear tail lights in the bumper have already been replaced, but one of them in the body needs replacing, but I'm actually going to borrow one off a friend just for the pits. That one's fine, it's just got a mark in it, and I don't want them to knock it back for just that. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to play some musical cars and move some stuff around, and then we'll put this outside and start degreasing it. Once I've finished degreasing the Pajero outside, I bring it back on the hoist and then I degreased it a little more inside. Then I focused on finding the oil leak. Back here in the shed again, just continuing on with the NP Ep4 here. I found the oil leak, so that's a good sign, but also a sort of bad news. As you can see, there's the oil leak, and that little plate, my finger is there. There's two bolts that sits behind the cam, so that's definitely where the oil leak is. You can see the drop there. There's nothing above or to the side of it. So those two bolts that you can just see, I'm going to just take those off, take the plate out. Alright, so here we've got this part. It's an O-ring that actually seals it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get one locally at all soon. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really want to even try and peel it up and flip it around, which is an old trick you can do to try and renew O-rings, but because if it's brittle it's just going to break. So I'm just going to put the tiniest little amount of gasket sealant around here, and that'll be that done, and then when I can get an O-ring I'll replace it and put another O-ring in it. Alright guys, that's another job ticked off the list. Now I've got the oil leak sorted. That was a 5-minute job, maybe a 10-minute job. Sometimes that's all oil leaks are. A lot of people leave oil leaks because they stress that they could be bad. I mean, some of them are bad. Sometimes they're not that scary. So don't be afraid to degrease your car and have a look at it and actually check it out. Find out where the oil leak's coming from, where the source is. And yeah, I mean, a little bit of sealant sorted, so that'll be good now. So like I said, don't be afraid to degrease it, check it out. Sometimes it's a simple fix, and worst that can happen, it stays how it is until you can afford to fix it the right way. Alright, so if this happens to anybody else, that's completely stripped out. See if it'll focus any better. That one's completely stripped out. This one's not so bad. And this one's completely stripped out. After drilling the screws out and removing the lights, I was able to cut and pry the speed clips apart and remove them from the body. After I finished up with the tail lights, I moved on to the serpentine belt. As you'll see in the next clip, it's quite squeaky and it was also cracked, so I replaced it. Right guys, so I've just fitted the new drive belt to the Project NP here. So down in there, it's all new drive belt. The old one was cracked, so you can see on the edges there, it's all cracked. It's just an issue that if that cracks and splits, you lose your power steering and that could cause you to have an accident. The engine could stall, all sorts of weird things happen. So yeah, it's just a bit of a safety thing. So $60 putting another belt on there. It's relatively easy. The routing diagram can be found online. But yeah, so that's all in and done. So I'm just going to start the car now and we'll make sure it doesn't fly off. Alright guys, thanks for sticking with me for another boring episode, but the Project NP is going to the pits next week, so by now you would have seen the hub replacements, you would have seen the wheels get put on, you would have seen the drive belt being replaced, which I've just done. Didn't record too much because it's pretty boring. I've degreased it, I've put new tail lights in it, what else have I done? Done the idle speed controller, so yeah, I've tidied a few things up off camera, but it's really not worth recording. So this goes over the pits next week. Hopefully they don't give me a list a mile long, and hopefully it goes over smoothly, but you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. They might pick up on stuff that I've missed, so we can only hope for the best. So pits next week, and we'll see what happens from there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, drop me a comment on what you think, what your thoughts are, and this might be nearing the end of this project, depends on what the pitch says, but there's plenty more projects in the works, so stay tuned, and the next ones are a whole lot more exciting. Thanks for watching this series/video, and we'll definitely see you in the next series that I have and with the next projects. So thanks again guys.